Hi everybody, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Matt Keithley. I'm going to be your host today. I myself am Regional Manager for Europe for the Unify Oracle Forms migration business. A little bit about Unify and CipherSoft just before we start. For those of you that are new to us, we're a publicly traded company. We've been in business for well over 30 years. We're known for being the first to deliver a relational database in the Unix environment. Since then, we've delivered development software products that run across different platforms and databases that are geared towards building a modernization of business applications and business application developers who place premium on productivity over low-level coding. Today, our business has expanded beyond database and development products and into modernization solutions like the one you're going to see in a moment, as well as archiving. During this webinar, we really do encourage you to ask questions, and we would request that you use the Q&A button at the button at the bottom of your panel. It's the button with a question mark basically at the bottom there. It just says Q&A next to it. There's also a chat button, but it makes it far easier if you use the Q&A button, as it enables us to address all the questions that are posted. I'd also like to introduce Khalid Baig. He's my colleague who'll be doing the technical part of the presentation today. He's been involved in Oracle Forms upgrades and Oracle Forms conversion projects to Java for many, many years. He himself was a former Forms programmer. It's a great opportunity and a real treat to have someone of Khalid's background and experience and knowledge on Oracle Forms working for us and presenting today. So I'd like to welcome Khalid. Before we move on to the presentation, I'd just like to cover a few items about the agenda and what we're going to see today, and also a little bit about Unify. The objective of today's webinar is to provide you with information on extending the applications after conversion to Java. We're going to start with an introduction that includes an overview of Unify and CipherSoft. Next, we're going to cover the key areas to consider when extending your applications after conversion, We're going to then follow this up with a demonstration so you can see how easy it is to convert to Oracle Forms applications into Java, and then how easy it is to extend those applications beyond that. After that, we'll actually do the Q&A session, and as I say, please do ask as many questions as you like. So CipherSoft Corporation is part of Unify. We've been in business over 30 years, as I've said. We're many years of experience in database development tools and application modernization. CipherSoft has got a very long established and very successful practice for modernizing Oracle Forms applications. We're a member of the Oracle Modernization Alliance, or OMA as it's better known. The OMA is an Oracle initiative to help customers modernize their legacy applications and infrastructure. CipherSoft really is all about modernization of Oracle Forms. It's the core business that we do, and it's the core business that we've done for many years. There are basically three key areas to focus on after the conversion. First is the converted application structure. This is basically how the code is structured in the converted Java application. The second thing to consider is the business logic. What are the considerations for the converted business logic? And finally, the presentation layer. What are the considerations for the converted presentation layer? We're going to look at these areas in greater detail in a moment. Just moving on to the next slide. We've got a few graphics on there. What this graphic illustrates is some keys to Oracle Forms code conversion to Java. First, the generated Java code should follow best Java programming practices. It should be clean, it should be easy to read, and well structured. Also, all of the business logic needs to be retained from the original application. In addition to this, keeping the file structure of the components and the objects organized much as they were in Oracle Forms provides a reference point. Both the original Oracle Forms and Java developers can both follow. This is the distinction of the solution that will be demonstrated to you in a little while by my colleague Khalid. For Oracle Forms developers, this eases the learning curves in Java, and for Java developers that are accustomed to low-level programming, it provides a high level of database-driven business application that will now be managed. This creates a very easy and familiar way for the developer to navigate through the application in your Java IDE. The converted application is still a standard Java class and libraries that are developed as a WAR file in a model view controller and architected to your Java EE Enterprise Application Server. Just talk a little bit about the second key area, which is maintaining the business logic after conversion. The first line refers to the business logic that a Forms developer created in the Oracle Forms IDE. Examples of these items include alerts, triggers, blocks, items, windows, and canvases. The second item refers to an area often overlooked when converting Oracle Forms applications. This is the Oracle Forms Frames network. The framework automatically handles things used repeatedly in Oracle Forms applications like triggers, execution logic, opening forms, setting focus, alert synchronization between fields on the screen and fields in the database, etc. The framework code was transparent to the Forms developers so they could focus on just maintaining their business logic. This gave them a high level of productivity for building and maintaining business applications. In a conversion to Java or any other low-level programming language, these framework components are still needed for every Oracle Forms application. Recreating the components to the Oracle Forms framework itself would require a lot of low-level programming just to handle these basic operations, even before focusing on the business logic of the application itself. The Exodus solution in the demo today includes the equivalent of an Oracle Forms framework in Java. There are hundreds of Java classes in several libraries using programming's best practices. These libraries are referred to as the Express libraries. Customers have measured up to a 90% reduction in cost and time versus a rewrite, thanks to the underlying components of the Express libraries. The difference from Oracle Forms is now the developer can choose to keep the underlying code transparent, or they can maintain and extend it in addition to their business logic. The Java source code for these Express libraries are included so customers can maintain and extend the applications on their own without any dependency on Unify and CipherSoft. That's obviously very important, that there's no third-party reliance going forward. Unify does maintain the libraries and provides updates to it on an ongoing basis to its general customer base that decides to treat it transparently. For customers who do choose to maintain the extended Express libraries, trace switches are built in that can be turned on and off so that the programmer can monitor the processing on the client server and communication between the two in their Java IDE. The third area that we were talking about is the presentation layer. The presentation layer can be maintained directly in the Java IDE like the business logic area we've just covered. However, those accustomed to extending the application in Oracle Forms find that maintaining the presentation layer in a Java IDE, like for example JDeveloper, requires much more manual effort coding in Java and XML. We'll show an alternative to this in the demonstration today and make use of WYSIWYG editor to maintain and modify the presentation layer. This illustration, the illustration on the slide you're seeing now, shows a visual editor add-on. This is an additional product to the Exodus solution that can be used to maintain the presentation layer much in the same way as it is done for Oracle Forms. For example, you can see there is a properties palette. This option is great for both browser-based and desktop-based presentation layers. It is not available for the ADF presentation layer that we demonstrated in last month's webinar, since the ADF framework already provides its own editor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over the presentation over to Khalid. We're going to talk about the principles. We're going to demonstrate the principles that I've just been briefly talking about. Some key points to keep in mind during the demonstration. Firstly, we're going to convert the Oracle Summit application. I'm sure that's an application that you're all very aware of. We're going to show you how we can extend it. It's got various menus, libraries, a form with multiple canvases, LOVs and business logic. So it represents a lot of different components you would have across your Oracle Forms applications currently. We're going to show you a full conversion. It's going to be a like-for-like conversion with the presentation layer deployed in a browser. And then we're going to review some Java code of the converted business logic so you can see how it's structured and how you'll be able to maintain it in the Java ADE. We're then going to use the visual editor to show you how you can extend the presentation layer. So, as I said earlier, please do feel free to write questions down and save them for the end, because we will be able to answer anything that crops up. But In the meantime, I'm going to hand over the demonstration to Khalid, who's going to show you what we've just talked about in theory.
Thank you, Matt. My name is Khalid Beg. I'm working as a manager customer support at Unify office. What I'm going to show you today is how the Summit application, which consists of 3 forms, 2 libraries, and 1 menu, convert to Java. And also at the same time, I'm going to show to you the deployment applications, like not the deployment procedure, but what application servers you can use for deployment purposes. And then after that, we will show you before and after migrated application, like before application in Oracle Forms and migrated application in Java. Second last, I will show you the source code before and after, and then lastly, I will show you the visual editor, how it works basically. And the reason we have to write the visual editor is basic reason, because the converted code we are creating is in Java and XML version, and for XML we have to write our own visual editor to interpret those XML versions and then do all the changes as you do in Oracle Form Builder now. So first thing first, if you see the conversion folder, I'm going to just quickly go through the conversion folder. The main 2 important folders that you should be knowing is input folder, where all the modules will go, like the converted the modules that you have to convert would go, and output Summit folder or output folder. You can rename or change any name you want to. Output folder is basically where all the conversion code will go, like what conversion tool does. Basically goes through 2 passes. The first pass is it goes through the PL SQL logic and triggers program units at all levels. Like if program unit is obviously at the form level, but triggers like which are at the form level, block level, and item level, it goes through that and then find all the business logic written in PL SQL and convert into Java classes. The second pass it does is find all the presentation layer, like in this case, for example, your canvases, windows, and list of values, and convert those presentation layer into XML version. So conversion tool is basically, if you have to buy a conversion tool and you are running, there is no installation process. You just have to unzip the conversion folder into your C drive or any drive you want to. You have to do the configuration and you are done. The second thing is I'm going to show to you is conversion tool itself. So if you see the conversion tool, there are not much to talk about on conversion tool. There are few items on the conversion tool that you have to look into. The first item is conversion process. What does it do? Basically, it gives you an option what you want to convert. You can convert Oracle PLL libraries, which are your libraries in PL SQL Business Logic. You can convert your menu modules. You can convert your form modules, basically. And the last option, what you are seeing is J2EE web module template generation, is basically to create the WAR file after the conversion. And the WAR file is a template WAR file, because it might not be the last WAR file you will convert through the conversion process. You might be converting different applications, so you have to create different WAR files. So you can choose this option whenever you want to, and the WAR file that would be generated here would be used for deployment purposes. The other fields here are like package name and company name and application name. Basically, this is used for your source code. Like when you generate your source code, you create like a package name there, com.sportsco.summit in this case. The third thing here is presentation layer. What presentation layer you want the application to convert to. You can select the Swing plugin or XML, which is all same thing, or you can say like JSF Oracle ADF version. The next folder is your input folder, which I explained, input Summit, and output is output. And the last thing is database connection. Basically, we need only the references from the database. For example, in case you define a variable that depends on the table column in the database, then we need to go on the database column and see if it is defined as date, varchar2, or if it is a number column. And according to that, we create the proper Java type when converting to Java. So first of all, I'm going to start the conversion process. As I mentioned, like you can convert forms, menus, and libraries in any order you want to, but our recommended process is to convert the libraries first and then menu and the forms. So I'm going to go and then select this one and then browse the two libraries that I have in this application. Put them on the right side so conversion can take place, and then start the conversion process. These are very small libraries in Summit application, which like if it is, I think they are all together are about 500 lines of code, so it takes about like 10 seconds to convert. And this is a linear conversion estimation basically. If you have 5,000 lines, if you have 10,000, it will take about 20 seconds, or if it is like 500,000, it will go like that. After each conversion, the converter will produce a log file. This is the log file that you can that is saved on a daily basis. Like if you are converting today and then you convert something tomorrow, then today's log file will be in with today's date and time, and tomorrow's will be obviously from that date and time. And the reason is that you can go back for your due diligence, or you can go for audit trail, that you can find what you have done on a specific day. For example, what you converted, what errors, warnings came up. This log file also produces some warnings or errors if there are any. Basically, warnings are like something if you are using go-to statements. It will give you a warning that this code of logic is using go-to statement, which will not be converted, and it will basically be commented out. The next thing I'm going to show to you is the conversion of the menu. There is only one menu in this application. It is called mSummit, and then I'm going to do the conversion. And again, it's a small menu, so it doesn't take that long to convert. And it again shows the log file that everything went fine. The third thing I'm going to show to you very quickly is converting the forms, customer, order, and pick. As we are going on this side, you can see that on the left side, the output submit is producing some folders. And once the conversion is done, it produces the log file, and it should all be successfully completed. So once it is done, when the conversion is done, what you can do is produce the WAR file, which is generated from this option. You can press the generate button, and basically you will see a web module folder is created, and once the generation is done, then the WAR file will be generated. So that's basically the conversion process. Conversion process is a small part of whole project conversion project basically. So once you are done with conversion, then you go and then compile the code that is being converted into Java, and then deploy the WAR file that just been generated here in this process. Once that is done, then you can start testing the application. After deploying, you start testing application. You find problems, you go back and fix those problems. Also, if there is anything that comes back that are some sort of non-supported, or they are not supported because of client server, then you can go and fix those things in Java, or you have an option to fix them in Oracle form and then convert that form back again. So I will go through this folder later on. The most important folder after the conversion is the COM folder, and then this JLS folder, which contains the XML folder that we will take for visual editor purposes. I'm going to show you the Oracle Forms application, like the Summit application runtime on the left side, and this is on the right side, like which is converted application. We just converted, and it's been deployed not in this process or in this demo. It's been already deployed under Tomcat. As I was saying, like the deployment can be done on any application server that is Java EE compliant. Like we have tried it on WebLogic, WebSphere, Oracle Application Server 10G, Tomcat, JBoss, and everything. And for this purpose, we have deployed under Tomcat. So left side you can see like there is a master, which is your tree structure is a master. There is a detail on the top, and there is a detail to that master on the bottom. So if I change this record, it automatically change up there, and it changes this one. The same is doing on the right side. And then you can see the tab canvases. There is a list of values. So if you press the list of value here, you can press list of values similar to this one. We do cover like system variable, global variable, list of values, and most of the components. Going back to this one, you can actually check the drop down, and dynamically it will change the tree structure. You can do the same thing here. Change the tree structure. Selecting this top will select all the rows on the right side. The same thing in here. Look and feel on the Java side is about the same, so there shouldn't be like. So I'm gonna open the order form here and double click it to open the order form. And we do pass the parameters from one form to other form, global variables or anything like that you can use in the calling form. Here you can see the radio buttons, the checkbox. There is an MDI window here. So MDI window is covered the same way. There is a stack canvas. There is a stack canvas on this side. You can dynamically image off and image on. There is nothing on Oracle side, but we have put it on Java side, so you can see like how it appears. Image on, image off. When you do, you say, do you really want to leave the form? The same thing it will come up when you execute, because we are firing the same set of triggers. The next thing I'm going to show to you is basically the converted code. Like maybe I should open a Java application quick, Oracle Form Builder, so I can show you. So if you see on the right, on this side, there are triggers, alerts, and all these things. So if I go back and see the converted code right here, as I was saying, like this is the procedure, like the COM Sports Co Summit, and here there is a customer folder. This is the form name. So if you have converted 1,000 forms, obviously there would be 1,000 folders, and each folder will contain multiple subfolders which represent the number of blocks in those folders. So for example, in this one, like if you see the blocks, there are like about 5 blocks, so you are seeing the same block folders here. And then if you go further down, you will see more folders representing the items in that block. So if you have items in that block, you will see item. The reason we have to do this process or this structure is to maintain the hierarchy of firing the triggers. Like if there is a trigger at the item level, we have to make sure it fires at the item level, and then if nothing, then we check the block level and check the form level. At each level of the folder, you will see a file with the name of the folder .java extension. If I go back in here, there is a sCustomer, and if I go back in here, there is an ID.java. This is basically like the form level Java class contains the program units, form level triggers, alerts definitions, parameter definition, and any attachment libraries. It will all contain in here. So if I go back and then open this file, you would be able to see that alerts are defined right here. And there are 2 alerts here. Delete alert, the properties are like something like this. Confirm alert, the properties are something like that. So if you see confirm revert alert, we have defined the style is caution. There are 2 buttons, yes and no. Button 1 is default, and title is payment, and this is the text of the alert. If you go further down, you will see that we are using the same trigger names as being used in Oracle form. And in conversion process, this is what we have followed as a standard, to use the same naming convention as Oracle form. So you would know like, okay, what this means. Instead of pre-form, we didn't use like, okay, before entering the form, we use the pre-form name. So if someone is moving from Oracle forms to Java, it would be much easier for them to understand what this pre-form trigger would do here. So if there is a pre-form and there is a when new form instance, there is a when new form instance trigger, and then if I open a code quickly here to see what is the before and after code. You can see that it is using the set window property. There is a set window property with the MDI window and submit application as the title is being fixed. There is a refresh tree. There is a program unit called refresh tree country. The same program unit is present here. Then there is a go block with the same naming, go block, and then there is setting this one. If you see refresh tree country, basically it is defined right in here. This is a refresh tree country. This is a program unit. This is how the code is converted. So if there is any question or if there are any questions, you can write them down at the end of the demo. I would be able to take all those questions. So next thing I'm going to show to you is another folder which is important for today's demo. Is called the JLS folder, and JLS folder basically contains the presentation layer. So as I was saying, like the conversion process goes through the two conversion passes. One is to take the PL SQL, convert them into Java. Second, it takes the presentation layer and convert that into XML, or if you choose the option for ADF, it will go to ADF. So here you would notice these are all XML. We have extension JLS. We did not put the XML because it's a proprietary Exodus product extension. So we are using the Java layout schema extension. It is our own extension. Here you can see that there are two windows which are called main. So main is right here. There is another window, date list of value, that is right here. And then there are canvases with the name main. So it will be like main.jls. This is like it is showing that this main canvas is on a main window. Simple as that. So if there is a tree canvas, it should be like main tree. So if you see the main and tree, so it means this is a window main and the canvas name is tree. So this is how we find out. So there is a way like you can open this file into any text pad and you will see the format right here, which says like, okay, and again we are doing absolute positioning. So there is a button called exit button on a control block, and this is the absolute positioning. Either you can, if you are familiar with this process, you can do the changes here, and then it would take it from there. The other way, what we have done is we created a visual editor. So I'm just going to open a visual editor here. This is called visual editor. This is what you are seeing at here. It's not like built into any form builder as you are seeing, where you can create the code and all those things. It is a separate process where you can take the converted code and then do a WYSIWYG editing on that. So main again is that you can choose either the option from the toolbar, or you can choose it from here to open a file, to edit, search, reload it, hide component. The first thing you would see is configure the visual editor. What does it do? It says where your web.inf. Once you deploy the application, obviously you will have a web.inf folder. Once you give that web.inf folder, the rest of the information is automatically taken. So it takes application name, which we have provided, submit. Where is the Java source, like source code? Where is the style sheet file? What is the package name, and what is the company name? So once it is taken, what I'm going to do is let's open a customer main window. So if I go in here, if I open this window, you would see that this is how it will open in the visual editor. So here what you can do, again, there is a process, like you can do a drag and drop as you are doing now. You can use any of these functionalities where you can align from left to right and all those things. So what I'm going to do, for example, if it is right here, I can select it, and then I can select it, this one. So it can go anywhere you want to, and then you can move it. You can align left. Basically, you can say arrange left. You can arrange like left align. You can do a right align. Whatever, like normally you drag and drop. You can add a contents. You can move it up and down. And then if you double click something, you will see a property palette. What property palette is showing what file this is coming from. So if you open this one, it will take you directly to that JLS file, which is called like main cus tab. It is saying this is the property. This is the property. The mask is this one. Auto skip is off. Absolute positioning is this. And if you change this in here and then save the file and open this file back again, the things will change, like height, width, and all those things. You can directly change the width also from here. I can change it to 100, and you will see that it will take the impact right there. You can change the height if you want to. You can go back. You can make it 55. You can use the styles if you want to use the style. There are styles, different styles. You can say these are the, if you want to make it light gray background, you can choose new canvas style, and it will make the light gray background. You can move things around here, and it will change this one. I can add a column also if I want to add a column here. I can go and say palette, and this is the palette. These are the components you can add. Like for example, if I want to add a label, I click this one here, and then click this one here. Label name, whatever you want to change, you can change it, and then and you say, okay, let's this one. This is a new label. So you can change the label name here. For example, you can say cell phone, and then if you want to add a text field, for example, you can say text field and name it like cell phone, and you can say as customer is the block. I know this is the block it is in, and it will add right there basically. So you can move it right here. I don't know why it has moved up. You can arrange them left. And then you can move these ones here if you want to. So this is basically how you can add the field, and then once you add the field, obviously you need to add a trigger or program. As you do in Oracle form, you have to add some sort of a code if you want to have a trigger. What you can do is you can go in here, first of all save it, and then you can go in a new generate a Java class component, and it will generate a Java class component for you at the background, and you can use that Java class component. I think it should have open in somewhere, and then you can use the Java components basically to add your trigger logic. So Matt, that's basically what normally I show in Visual Editor. Obviously there is a full training, like again it's just a webinar to show that how Visual Editor looks like and what you can do in Visual Editor. There is a lot more, like it's a full 3-4 days training on how to use Visual Editor, and then they can go from there. As any, like when they were learning Form Builder, it's the same process. So I'll give it back to you, and then we would be ready for question and answers.
Okay, thanks, Khalid. Okay, what I'll do, as I said earlier, if you could use the Q&A button at the bottom of the palette there, along with the question mark, just submit your questions there, and we'll go through them in turn. We'll just give you a couple of minutes just to put those down, and we'll come back to you when we start getting some questions coming through. Thank you.
Matt, you have to take the presentation of the meeting, so you can show the other slides if you want to.
Okay, while we're just getting some questions together, I'll just do a quick summary there. Thanks very much for that, Khalid. So in summary, what Exodus offers, it offers a far quicker way to get you to to Java. It's about a 90% reduction in time with the Express libraries. You can maintain the structure and the hierarchy of the Oracle Forms project in the Java code. Therefore, you're maintaining your legacy. And using Visual Editor, you can extend the converted applications in Java in a much easier way than you can if you're using something like JDeveloper, for example. Okay, so I'm just going to start going through some questions. So the first question is, after the conversion, how do you deploy to Tomcat? So could you answer that one for us, please, Khalid?
Yes. As I was saying that once you create the WAR file, you can take that WAR file and under Tomcat there is a folder called Web Apps. You can place your WAR file under Web Apps, restart your Tomcat server, and it will deploy that WAR file. And once the WAR file is deployed, basically you just have to compile your converted Java code and you should be able to start running the application. We normally provide you the process, what URL you can use, and then you can use the same URL. Like normally it is http / machine name where the servlet is and what port number it is on, port number / the application name. That's all basically you have to use. And what it will do, once you give that information to the browser and the application is deployed, it will go to that application name, which is the name that you have given in the browser as like the name of the application. It will find out under Web Apps that application, and then the servlet will respond back to the first message, and then it will open the first menu.
Thanks for that, Khalid. Another question is, we talked about the Summit application. We converted the Summit application. Could you do a conversion on one of my applications, is the question. Okay, I'll answer this one. Basically, Unify, we can offer, the first thing we can offer is a free code conversion, and that is exactly as it sounds. It's something that we'll do free of charge. We'll take one of your Oracle Forms applications, and we can run that through our converter and show you both the converted code, and we can also show you a screenshot of what the converted screenshot will look like. Beyond that, we can do a proof of concept. So once we've done a free code conversion, we can do a proof of concept on one of your applications, one of your forms, should I say, and we'll actually show the form running. Proof of concept normally takes 3 to 5 days. It depends on the form that you provide to us. A proof of concept is a chargeable item of work, but well worth it, considering what you see at the end of it is one of your forms running in a Java environment, in a native Java environment. So, if you're interested in having something like that done, then what we'd encourage is that you can get in touch with your local Unify sales rep. We've got offices pretty much all over the world. I'm, for example, based in our London office. We have our main office is in Sacramento, in Roseville, should I say, in California. We have offices in Canada, in Brazil, in Paris, in Munich, in South Korea. So we really are a worldwide company. So if you are looking to speak to your local rep, just go onto Unify's website. You'll find a tab under About Unify. You'll find a tab that says Contact Us, and you'll find all our offices and relevant contact details listed there. Another question that we've got is, it says the demo you showed looks like a desktop application. Is that correct?
In this process, it is sort of correct, but even in that case, we are running it as a browser desktop application. Like the URL that is being provided is given in the batch file for running at this time, but the same URL can be provided on the browser. But however, this version that we converted or showed to you is a swing pluggable version, which means that a small jar file will be downloaded on the desktop when you will even run it under browser. It will ask for a permission to download a small jar file, and there is another version that we were talking about is the ADF version, and that is only use a thin client. Like most of the processes, not most actually, all the processes running on the server, and the pages that are drawn on the client are HTML pages. But again, there are a few trade-offs here and there, like when you are using ADF version, then you are using Oracle proprietary jar files, and then you need to buy licenses and all those things. When you use a Tomcat, there is nothing proprietary there. All the even like I'm sure like Matt has mentioned that, but I would like to emphasize here that we provide even the libraries like Exodus libraries, like the runtime code, so you can take that code and then customize the application or runtime according to your need if you want to, or we can do it for you. But this looks like since it is an AWT classes or swing classes, it looks like more a desktop application, but the same can be run as an ADF version. And I don't know if I have a 2 minute, I can show you how ADF would look, but we can do it for a later time. But again.
Okay. Thanks, Khalid. Next question is, what is the authentication method during login after conversion? Authentication.
Yeah, authentication method.
Authentication.
Authentication method. We are doing two types of authentication. The one that I just showed you is the same authentication procedure that you normally use for Oracle form. Like you provide the username, password, and the database string, and it will go on the database and check if the user is there. And if it is there, then it goes to the next page where you can run the application or form. The second authentication method is that the connection between application server and database is only one connection. Like there is a one user that is connecting back to the database, and all the users who are logging into the applications are being authenticated at the application server level only. So you only need, basically in that, you only need one connection back to the server from application server. But the only problem I have seen with that, if you are using the user as a column name for audit trail, then obviously all the column inserted and all the column removed and everything will be with that one user that is connected from application server to the database. But if you are using the authentication that Oracle form uses and the one that I showed to you, when you use the user as your username, then obviously it will use a different usernames who are logged in at that time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Khalid. Next question. What is the licensing model for Exodus? I'll take this one. Basically, Exodus is licensed in two ways. It can either be a product and services, so it could be that someone would give us their application, and Unify CipherSoft will actually do the complete migration, which would involve us taking the Oracle forms, migrating them using Exodus, and then doing the associated services. That is the software plus services. The other option is that we just do it on a software basis, and the way that would work is that basically you would buy the software, the Exodus software from us, and some training and a number of consultancy days, and you would actually conduct the project yourself. You would actually do the project yourself using the software that you have purchased, and after having training and as I say, some hand holding from Unify. Another question is, how does licensing work for database objects? Khalid.
Basically, database object again is the same thing. If they are using authentication that is similar to what you are using currently in Oracle form, where there are 20 users who are going to be authenticated on the database, you need a database license, 20 user license or more. But if you are going with authentication like that is only authenticated on the application server and there is only one connection from application server to the database, then you can go with one user license basically. But again, that's the database licensing. Our application is not dependent on on how, like you have to have an Oracle database or you have to have a DB2. You can have a different database behind the scene, but the licenses depend upon how many users are connected and what sort of authentication you are using.
Okay. The same person's come back and said that what they're actually asking is how is the licensing terms for conversion of PLSQL code, i.e. the back-end code behind the forms. That's just buying the Exodus licensing, isn't it, to do the conversion?
Oh, okay. That might be Exodus licensing that he's asking.
Yeah.
Matt, maybe
yeah,
you can
yeah. I believe that to be the case. Yeah. So who asked that question? I believe you're asking about Exodus licensing. The Exodus license is either done on a purchased on a per forms basis, or you can buy an open license. A per form license. It depends. The breaking point is normally around about 500 forms. Once you get to 500 forms, it's more viable to buy an open forms license, i.e. an unlimited forms license, and it's licensed on a per project basis. So, for example, if you're a systems integrator and you have a number of end users that are using Oracle Forms applications that may consider migrating, you would actually buy an unlimited license per end user. Now, the gentleman that's asked that question, I can actually send you an email on that as well, just to confirm the pricing and so on for your region. But as I said earlier, if you are interested in pricing or sort of terms and conditions and how various things work, then what we will do is speak to your local representative, and they'll be more than happy to go through the prices and procedures with you. Okay, now I think that's. I don't think we've got any more questions coming in now. Okay, so what I would just like to summarise, I'd like to say many thanks to, firstly, to everybody who attended. We really appreciate you taking the time out to sit and listen to this and view this demonstration today. I hope you found it very, very useful. Unify are going to be at the Oracle Development Tools user group meeting between June the 26th and June the 30th in Long Beach, California. So if anyone's looking to take a few days out in California and enjoy the sunshine there, what better way to go than to go to the Kaleidoscope event. We'd also like to get your feedback, suggestions, and maybe some ideas of future topics. So if you've got any feedback, we really do want to hear it. You know, what we did well, what we could do better, and how we could improve things or change things in the future with these webinars, because your feedback is very, very important to us. And also any suggestions. If there's any suggestions that you'd like to make as to future webinars, what you'd like to see us demonstrate, for example, whether it be Exodus for Java or for ADF, or if you'd like to see this demonstration again. Incidentally, this demonstration, this webinar has been recorded, so if you did want to look at it at a later date, you can just go on to unify.com, and if you look under the events tab, you'll find you can look at archived webinars, and that should be uploaded there within the next 24 to 48 hours. You should find this webinar archived. So once again, many thanks for attending. Many thanks for your demonstration, Khalid. It's very, very useful. And we hope to see you all again soon on future webinars. Thank you very much.